Hello, hello, hello. Hey, y'all, and welcome back to Melanated Maker DIY. It's me, Taji, and in today's DIY vlog, we are continuing the Entertainment Center makeover, and we are focusing on doors and drawers. In the last DIY vlog, I turned 2 PAX units and an old media console into the frame of this entertainment center. I also built a faux butcher block countertop that really made everything feel so real, and it's a true transformation with lots of tips and tricks in it, so you need to go check it out. So like I said, this DIY vlog is all about doors and drawers for the entertainment center. I'm starting with cutting down some lumber, and I've got a little tip I want to share. Also, oh my god, excuse me, dogs with the tippy tappies in the back. Sorry if you guys can hear that. So, so the first tip in what I do in getting extra accurate cuts is I mark my lumber once for the length that I need to cut, and then again 1/8 of an inch further. So that way I just place my saw right between the blades and I get the perfect accurate cut every single time. You see that line right there? Ooh, that's how you know it's perfect. Chef's kiss. Another tip for making repetitive cuts is to create a stop block. This is how I set mine up, and you just have to be mindful not to put the clamp so snug on the wood that it binds between the blade and the stop, but once you've got it set up, it's all light work. Next up, I laid out each door piece and marked the front and back sides of each, also marking where all the pocket screws would go. This just makes things so much easier. This whole entertainment center took way too long to complete, but that's because life was lifing, not because anything I'm doing is particularly difficult. Big projects like this can be intimidating, I know, but it's all about taking it one step at a time. Just like in life, you can't focus on the problems that are not yet problems. So just another life lesson from the DIY gods. Focus on what's in front of you. Let the trouble come when it's time for the trouble to come. So I knocked out the pocket screws next, and if you saw the last episode, then yes, I did check the configuration on my Craig jig about 1,000 times before I started, because I was not about to make the same mistake again. To join everything together, I used a speed square, clamp, pocket hole screws, wood glue, and my power drill. I lined everything up, held it in place with my clamp, and then joined it all together. I guess I really didn't use that speed square. It's been a minute since I built this, y'all, so it's all coming back to me as we go. Anyway, I'm already so stinking excited for these doors. Like, I feel like this is what it means to be an adult. I'm excited about storage solutions so I can hide all my junk. Let me know if you're like me. Like, I'm like, ooh, a bench with storage. Ooh, cabinets with storage. Anything with storage, green flag. Is anybody else like this? Somebody let me know. Validate me, please and thank you. So then I started with the hinges for the doors, and I've never done hinges like these before, so at first I was very intimidated by them, but it honestly wasn't as hard as I thought it was gonna be. Instead of using a big chunky tape measure, I actually used a seamstress tape measure, and it was so much easier to maneuver for like those really specific little measurements that they ask you to get when you do hinges like these. I know there's a jig for this out there, but I really wanted to try my hand at it alone, and y'all, I am really surprised that I didn't mess things up. I'm so proud of myself, and yeah, pat on the back to me, because I was like, this is a lot of doors. I'm bound to mess up one. I should have made an extra. I did not. And bravo all around. Claps. Claps for me. It's moments like this that are like my favorite part of DIYing. I really thought I was gonna mess something up, but it's just the beauty of having something that I built with my own hands, and to like look at it and be like, this exists because of my hard work is so gratifying. It's so sustaining. And so if you're not sure if you want to get into DIY, start with something small. It doesn't have to be hinges or anything like crazy intimidating, and just see how it makes you feel. Like, that's why I do it. It's not just about like DIY, like do it yourself. It's do it for yourself. And that's like my motto when it comes to DIY. Okay, so now we need some panels to go inside these doors. It's gonna get dusty, so I've already put on my fabulous head covering, thank you. I know I look like one of those peanuts from the Proud Family, but you wouldn't want to take me in a dance battle, okay? Also, did I just age myself by saying that? Please let me know if you got that reference, or if I'm just like out on an island with George Washington Carver by myself. So I tested my router on a scrap piece of wood for the panels, and after some slight adjustments, I started routing out my doors for panels. Because of the straight edge guide on the router, I couldn't make finished passes on the door side, so I had to do some problem solving into how to tackle this. Also, I just need to call myself out for a second. I'm making these passes with the router, and sometimes they would leave this little strip of wood, and I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to just be ripping these off like this. Do not let a man, woman, person, whoever treat you like I was unknowingly treating these doors. This caused a whole separate problem that I had to fix. I'll show you in a minute. But like, why'd I do that? But back to the problem at hand of not being able to make full passes with my router. My first solution was to clamp a piece of wood, which while it worked well, it took me forever to get the right depth. And if I was gonna have to do this another like 24 times, I was truly going to lose my mind. The next solution I tried was to try freehand routing it, and well, that was just mad ugly. It was not it. That was not the solution. So I quickly shut that one down. Finally, and it was about time, I found just a longer piece of wood to clamp. So hopefully that'll be my straight edge guide. Since I've got 2 clamps on either end because this is so long, I had to kind of prop this up. So that's what these scrap 2x4 pieces are. And then I've got these little 1x scraps underneath the clamps, because they were still just kind of doing, I don't know, they were doing their own thing. Everyone's doing their own thing. We're trying to figure it out. Okay, so I know this setup is much, y'all, but it really worked. I didn't have a guide as to where to stop, but once I got into the groove of things, I was cranking these bad boys out. Cool. Okay. Which, I think I was overcomplicating this story of my life. What I also did is I just drew a line here, so that way hopefully as I go through all of the other ones, it'll be simple, easy, quick, okay? I don't know. This is my advice. If you got better thoughts of how to do this that don't involve buying new tools, you let me know. Or if you think that this idea is good and you tried something that didn't work, you're welcome. Okay, let's keep going. So I heard this fantastic thing. I don't know, it was probably on TikTok, but I heard this woman say, it was Ariella Storia, and she said she was talking to a friend, and the friend told her that you cannot move from mountaintop to mountaintop. Sometimes you have to descend before you can ascend again. So this project took so long, but that's because I was on my descension, now I'm on my ascension, and we are making things happen. So anyways, that's a little lesson from me and the DIY gods and Ariella Storia. So I was ready to start cutting down the panels to size, and I was clearly in my zone, okay? I was in my bag, thank you. Luckily, I had panels in my garage that were the exact width I needed, and I just needed to cut them down to length. I started with using a circular saw, but the miter saw ended up being a much easier solution. Oh my gosh, little puppy dog coming back with the tippy tappies. Thank you. Quiet on set. Okay, where was I? Oh, okay. So I had 2 smaller doors that I had to make some extra cuts for to get the panels to size, but that was light work. Then I super glued the panels into place, and I just held them down with something heavy to keep it in place while it dried. It only took like 5 minutes to dry with the weights on it, and we've never had a problem with them. I did a quick sanding of the doors, and then it was time to prep for paint. Alright, so I have got all of the doors laid out. I'm also watching the circle because I wanted to show you guys this. So this is where I messed up. This is where I was like mistreating the wood, and it like left more gaps than I would like. I would like it to be more snug like this, a little more clean. We're gonna fix all these little seam issues with caulk, and then I'm gonna use some baby wipes to clean it up. So let's jump in. We're gonna handle all of this. We got our caulk, we got our baby wipes, we got some Netflix. Let's get into it. So like I said earlier, I was mistreating the wood like no other here, ripping off those strips, and it created this like really jagged look from the front. So I decided to just caulk the seams here, and that would hide my not so little mistake. And honestly, this looks so good after I was done. I would recommend caulking your door seams anyway, because it just gave this like nice finished look. It really like tied it all together, and not like it was a door frame and like panels. It made it look like it was one structure. So definitely, if you're doing something like this and you're gonna follow my little method, caulk your door seams. Hi. It's been a very long time. I think my battery on my camera is about to die, which is actually very sad because I have not picked this up in a very long time. It's been a lot of life lately. It's just been a whole lot of life. And, you know, trying to merge who I was before and after having a baby is a lot harder than I thought it would be. And then just life happening around me in general. And so, but I just wanted to say hello because it's been like 6 months and I am gonna build some stuff. And I need to finish the entertainment center because I am not taking this into 2023. Thanks for being here. Let's build some shit. Sorry, Mom. Okay, let's do it. So, life was really trying to get in the way of my greatness, so I decided to start with something simple to get me back into the groove of building after such a long break, and I started with ripping down a sheet of plywood into what would be the shelves for the entertainment center. Then I edge banded the shelves to make them look more finished and not like plywood using my iron. I think they have irons that you can actually use for edge banding, but I just use a normal iron, and honestly it's the only time I ever use an iron these days. Do people still use irons? Did that fade away? Does anyone use an iron? Please let me know, because now I have 2 irons because I lost one and had to buy another one just for edge banding. So now I have 2 irons for edge banding. Love that for me. Okay. Anyways, as you can see, it's Christmas time here, and the majority of this video was shot in May, so it had been a huge gap of time, and I was living with a half-done entertainment center with unpainted doors, and it was giving chaos, and sadly it wasn't even the most chaotic thing that was going on in my life, so I needed to tone it down, you know? Queen Maya Angelou said, "Still I rise." Am I right? So after the shelves were done, I started painting the doors, and I could literally feel the stress falling off of me. So unfortunately, I did end up taking the unfinished entertainment center into 2023. Now it's March, the shop back is full, and I hadn't worked much on the entertainment center in months. But to my defense, I was working on my home office and my son's room, which you're not going to want to miss those videos. So make sure you're subscribed and tap the little bell so you can get notified when they come out, because talk about chaos. So anyways, I hadn't been in the garage in a minute, so I always start with a bit of cleaning to make sure that the space is clean and safe before I jump into things. I hadn't emptied out my shop back in like well over a year, and it was very much due. Once that was handled, I ripped some scrap 2x4s and cut some 1x2s into support pieces, because we are finally tackling the drawers on this entertainment center. I told y'all this video was about doors and drawers, and we are getting into these super easy DIY drawers. So first I installed my drawer slides, and that made things so much easier to measure the drawer boxes. Y'all will not catch me slipping this time. I'm protecting my hair and I'm getting things done. It was time to get dusty and start building these drawer boxes. I started by ripping down this sheet of plywood to the height of the drawer boxes and then cutting them to length for the front, back, and sides. These drawer boxes are pretty small and they're not going to be carrying anything super heavy, so I just use wood glue and nails, which is honestly more than enough and so great because I was not in the mood for pocket screws at all. So my battery actually died this day because, well, mom brain. But I assembled the drawers, like I said, with glue and nails, and I added some trim to the front to mimic the shaker style doors, and here we are. And I realized this video was getting kind of long, so this is where we're gonna wrap up for this time, y'all. The next video is gonna be the last video for this entertainment center, and y'all are going to be shook at how this comes out. It is a year in the making and y'all are not gonna wanna miss it. Hopefully in this video you got some tips, tricks, inspiration, motivation, or you just enjoyed the vibe. Products to everything I used are below. I really hope you guys love the video. Give it a like, let me know what your favorite part of the video was, and I would love it if you subscribed. It really helps my channel. If you guys are really feeling generous, please share this video with a friend or someone that you think could tackle a project like this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all with my next video very soon. Bye.